What's up, YouTube? It's Zero Option here with a Reaper Prophecy deck profile. But I should say, like, before I get into it, that this is a Reaper Prophecy build for the meta which I'm currently facing. Okay, I may as well just do this. If I go to my profile viewer, I've been playing Reaper for a while, and I managed to get to like 14.84 rating on DN, and in match 12.8, yeah, 12.84, and I basically play like elemental dragons over half the time, and I play spellbooks a lot and Verse, sometimes Melantian as well, or Mermail, and like maybe 5% are rogue decks, or maybe 10%. But most of my duels are against elemental dragons, and I basically built this sort of like a Reaper version to sort of counteract that. So you should really take this to mind when you're watching this video. So to get to the deck profile, play 2 Reaper Prophecy. The reason why I cut Reaper down to 2 is because I want to make space for Kaiku and Jargon. Also because this deck is less focused about like OTK and sort of like exploding like my other version was, and it's more based around sort of control. But in terms of what's better, I would say this one's better for the current like meta and the meta which I'm playing. But the other one I kind of do prefer, like with Free Reaper and One Destroyer, is just simply that I play a lot of elemental dragons, so I feel like it's worth playing like a Kaiku and a Jargon, especially since their main deck is Joel Lockbird. After that, One Destroyer, I'm pretty much a fan of just One Destroyer. I don't like playing two, because at least if you draw Reaper, you contribute it and potentially go plus. If you draw Destroyer, it's just a straight up minus. Free Spellbook Magician, I don't like Reason on Monster Gate, it's too inconsistent, especially since Judgment Day is here. Like, we really don't need to play Reasonings on Monster Gate for the deck to be able to function well. One Magical Exemplar, still the one Exemplar, even though Reaper's cut down to two, you could use Magical Exemplar to revive Jargon and Kaiku, so it's worth it in my opinion. Two of the four, I was considering playing just one, but I feel like if you get EEV'd, the card which you want to go to is for Prophecy, because you can potentially go into an end phase Reaper and start like you can start to get your cards back. So I feel like full prophecy at 2 is worth it. One Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is pretty much the reason why we're playing all of these synchros here, and I feel like Effect Veiler is sometimes not such a good card to open with, because you kind of sometimes will wish that you had like a Secrets or Judgment Day instead of your Veiler, but the access it gives you into the synchros, and also just the ability to Veiler your opponent's cards and negate their effects like Rescue Rabbit and stuff like that. First turn is definitely worth it. So, and also it's searchable by Starhole if you've already got one counter. So I feel like Effect Veiler is definitely worth it at one. One Kaiku and one Jargon. These cards are extremely good against the current top tier decks. Jargon is even good against the mirror match, because if your opponent uses Judgment Day on your turn, you can summon a Jargon off of your Judgment Day and stop your opponent from summoning. So I feel like Jargon's really good against everything, pretty much. It's good against Mermail as well, and Dragons. So Jargon definitely is the card which I particularly wants to put in here. And Kaiku is another card. Kaiku is good against spellbooks, so the mirror match, and it's good against dragons. It's not so good against Verse. I mean, it does stop Cercion, and with power it can go over Ovion, but it's still not particularly that great against Verse. And against Mermail, it's not so great. But if you are playing Kaiku and you're playing against Mermail, you could always side in Deck Devastation Virus, because with just 2 counters on Starhole, it's a deck deadly target, so Kaiku is good in that aspect, but it's extremely good against Elemental Dragons late game and Prophecy to stop those annoying Spellbook of Fates. A lot of the time you will play against an opponent who like plays 3 Spellbook of Fate and they sort of rely on it to win. Kaiku is extremely good against that, because before I was playing Kaiku, I've easily lost to people who just play 3 Spellbook of Fate and like still open up really, really good. I'm not really a fan of playing 3. I feel like 2 is enough, and if you play 3, you're relying too much on it. But Kaiku is extremely good against those kind of opponents, because chances are they'll just set like a Spellbook of Fate and have one in their hands, and they won't be able to use it all because you have a Kaiku face up. So into the spells, I'm playing one Spellbook of Eternity still, a Heavy Storm. I was thinking about taking this out for Reborn, but I prefer Heavy Storm to clear those annoying back rows, and also because in the Priestess variant, Priestess can pop back row, but in Reaper, I'm not playing Lider anymore because it's no longer a really good end phase target with Judgment Day, because Jalgan and Kaiku take priority over it. Um, I pretty much need to play Heavy Storm, like to just have some kind of back row removal. So that's why I still play it. Free Spellbook of Secrets, obviously, 2 masters, 1 power. I prefer 1 power, even though I'm still playing 2 full and 1 exemplar, and also the added Kaiku. It just gives me better opening hands, I feel, so that's why I stick with 1 power. 2 Fate, I touched on this earlier, I prefer playing 2 Fate, less of a reliance on it than people that play 3 Fate. 2 Wisdom, I feel like this is still probably the correct number to play. It's not really good to open up with Spellbook of Wisdom unless you're going second, but I still like to open up with it, because, for example, if you're playing against Vers and your opponent goes first on the Ophion, it's really good to open up with like a 4, a Judgment Day, a Power, and a Wisdom. I mean, you're pretty much set if you open up like that. 3 Judgment Day, still an amazing card, still free of 1 life. Sometimes I do want to play 2 life, but I feel like if I play 2 life, I'm going to open up really bad. So I play just 1. 2 Towers, I feel is the norm to play in this format. 1 Starhall. Starhall is just obviously really good. It searches Veiler. If your opponent EEVs, you can search like a Magician to sort of recuperate your hand. So I feel like Starhall's definitely good. 2 Crescent, extremely good card to open up with. Even if I open up with it and I don't want to play it, I can just use Drag Down or Magical Mallet. And Crescent is also extremely good because if you're if you're playing the Destroyer build, obviously, then you can clear your graveyards out pretty easily with Destroyer and use Crescent. Chances are that you won't want to do that, but it does happen sometimes. And 2 Crescent is literally just to be able to open up with it more frequently, because the chances of opening up with both of your Crescents is like 1%. So in terms of improving that odds, because if I was just playing 1 Crescent, it would be 15% chance to open up with it, and if I play 2, it's about 25%. So I'm increasing my odds of opening up with it by 10%, and my odds of opening up with 2 is only 1%, so I feel like it's worth it. After that, 2 Magical Mallet. This is still in here from when I was playing Free Reaper. You can consider taking one out for like a Book of Moon or something. 2 Drag Down into the Grave are extremely good for hitting like Veilers, Droll Lovebirds, EEVs, and really key cards in your opponent's hands. I really like Drag Down into the Grave. It's been working out really well so far. Onto the traps, 1 Breakthrough Skill. I've won in games which I shouldn't have won with Breakthrough Skill. I remember once I was playing against Sam's and he had Naturia Beast, and I think it was the Great Shogun Shien, the level 7 Shien monster, and I literally won because of Breakthrough Skill. I shouldn't have really been able to win, but Breakthrough Skill put in so much work against that matchup, and it's also really good against even Dragons. Against Dragosac, it's good against Vers, it forces their Pandemics out, and it's also extremely good against Mermel when they go for Biscayos. Breakthrough Skill puts in a lot of work there. And the last cards are Wabokus. I took out Threatening Walls for Wabokus, which I'm going to cover in another Spellbook Tips and Advanced Plays episode, so I look forward to that. The extra deck pretty much doesn't really need much explaining. It's pretty much the same, except that I put Shining Elf in, and I think I took out a Stardust or something. But apart from that, it's the same. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And this is Azure Options signing out, and have a nice day.